New day, new life, everyone. Welcome back to Inside Out with I, where we talk about Christian faith, self-development, and encouragement. So, hello everyone. Magandang hapon dyan sa Pilipinas. At Happy Father's Day sa lahat ng father. Binabati ko kayo at lubos puso kami nagpapasalamat for having you in our lives as a father. So, yung mga tatay, tito niya dyan, no? Batiin nyo na. Happy Father's Day po sa inyo. Araw nyo ngayon. And we hope na meron kayong day off. Dahil, syempre, kailangan nyo din ng rest. Kailangan nyo ng love. And some occasions like that. Minsan yung mga tatay, hindi sila masyadong into occasion, no? Yung mga birthday nila, inom-inom na lang. Or like, yung iba, no? So sa father natin as a Christian, they might be want to spend more time with the family and, give all the love and care and appreciation sa tatay natin dahil alam natin na sila ay ginamit ng Panginoon para mapanganak tayo dito sa mundo. So maraming salamat po sa lahat ng tatay dyan. Bumabati kami dito from Finland and ayan. Meron tayong maganda pag-uusapan today. It's all about communication, how we can communicate effectively. Kasi minsan alam ba natin yung moment, mag-a-advise tayo pero ayaw nating ma-offend yung tao. Pero kailangan niya kasing malaman yun or like for example, kailangan niyang maintindihan ang isang bagay. Pero paano natin sila bibigyan ng advice na hindi sila nasasaktan or hindi sila ma-offend? And we want to tackle it and give some, what the scripture telling about communication. Ang daming binigay ng Panginoon actually, all about communication and how we gonna act. It's the same, still like communicating well. At the same time is we're telling the truth. Actually, gustong-gusto ng Panginoon na tayo ay gumagawit ng katotohanan, ng mga words na totoo and honest, hindi tayo nagsisinungaling. And God really appreciate that. So ngayon, gusto ko lang sa inyo guys i-share ang mga ilang bagay na yan. So if you guys are ready, don't forget to share and follow this Facebook page at the same time yung YouTube kasi live tayo ngayon. So makakatulong ng mas na malaki. It's support for God's Word. Ang pag-share po ng ganito. So kung may kakilala ka na nahihirapan magbigay ng advice, just share this and to them at alam natin na mabibless din sila. So that's why we're opening up. Ready? Press on. So, ayun nga guys, alam niyo naman, katulad ko, ako din nahihirapan din ako sa communication before. But, isa lang natutunan ko, when we communicate, kapag nakikipag-usap tayo sa ating kapwa, mahalagang-mahalaga ang apat na bagay. Ano-ano yon? Meron dito tayong tinatawag na apat na bagay na dapat nating ayusin. Yung una is concentration, choose the word, and voice modulation, yung ating voice, and yung pakikinig, okay? Una, concentrate. Pero bago tayo magpunta dito sa apat na to, gusto muna nating alamin ano ba ang sinasabi ng scripture from that. So abangan niyo na apat 'yun. So first basahin muna natin itong sa James 1:19. Understand this, dear my brothers and sisters, you must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get anger. Okay. Meron kasi sa ating pagkakataon na hindi natin mapigilan yung ating emosyon sa pag-communicate. Alam mo natin kasi Pilipino tayo. Ang mga Pilipino, very expressive sila, which is good in communication. But at the same time, kapag nag-over-excess na yung ating emotion, nahihirapan na rin tayong makipag-communicate. So, nauunahan tayo, for example, ng kasiyahan, So, nai-excite tayo. Kita sa mukha natin, kita sa gesture ng katawan natin. But at the same time, hindi natin ma-explain. Oh, I'm excited. Pero yung, halimbawa naman, yung sa paggalit tayo, frustrated tayo, disappointed, ganyan. Mahirap na na-express. Hindi natin masabi. Isa din to sa mga na pansin ko sa pag-communicate ng isang Pinoy or kapwa nating Pilipino na hindi nila masabi dahil ayaw nilang makasakit, no? Na I'm upset, I'm frustrated, hindi maganda yung nararamdaman ko. It's a challenge for us because we want to be nice, we want to be good to somebody, lalo na sa mga kapwa natin Pilipino, pamilya natin or kaibigan, ayaw natin makasakit. But at the same time, God reminding us to listen and sa pakikinig kasi na gradually na uutay-utay natin yung ating sasabihin, ang ating iisipin, na pwede nating gamiting word sa kapwa natin. So, I just want to encourage that sa communication, there is 90% listening and 10% talking. That's the best communication that we could get. Kung may conversation tayo, whether it is isa lang o maramihan, importante na we listen and then we speak out. 90%, they value 90% of listening and 10% of talking. And dito sa ating number 1, hindi ko nalagay dito. Sa number 1 natin is concentration. And concentrate tayo dun sa pinag-uusapan. Kung siya ba ang nagbigay ng topic, then it's good that we listen, we concentrate. Ano kaya yung sasabihin niya? Ano yung opinion niya? Ano yung nararamdaman niya? And we concentrate dun sa ating kausap. No, hindi tayo patingin-tingin sa cellphone or sa paligid or kaya iniisip na agad natin yung sasabihin natin. And at the same time, listen, concentrate and listen very well kung ano ba yung ibig niyang sabihin talaga. Pwede din tayong mag-concentrate or maging aware sa kanyang gesture. Nagiging shaky ba siya or nagra-rise ba yung voice niya at the same time nakikita ba sa expression ng mukha niya yung sinasabi niya. And some people, they know if someone is lying or someone is telling the truth kasi yung sabi nila is makikita sa mata. There are studies na yung angle ng mata sinasabi if someone is lying, if someone is listening, if someone is concentrating to the topic, if someone is going to speak out. So may mga ganong sign. Malalaman natin yun when we concentrate and we listen. That's why very important that we listen to people before we speak. And sabi din dito sa Colossians chapter 4 verse 6, let your conversation be gracious and attractive so that you will have the right response to everyone. So yun nga sa listening pa rin, meron tayong mga opinion. Alam ba, nagsabi siya ng ganitong bagay, isang topic. And you also have an opinion. You have to wait. And dun sa ating sasabihin, the response natin, let it be gracious and attractive at the same time. You are wise when you hold your mouth, no, 'di ba? Yung lips natin. Marami kasi yang nagagawa na pwedeng makasakit, pwedeng makalift up. So we choose our word. Ito ba ay makakapagbigay ng kalakasan or hindi? Ito ba ay pag-down sa kanya, then we have to set our mind na attractive and gracious. At the same time, huwag nating kalimutan na ang bawat isang tao may sarili silang opinion and respect is very important. So, you listen, you sit down, and then, okay, I guess in your opinion, like, this is your opinion. And in my opinion, this is something that we have to work on. Like, para sa akin, siguro mas maganda yung ganito natin gawin. Sabihin natin yung ating saloobin patungkol dun sa sinabi nila. Kung hindi tayo agree sa sinabi niya. Kasi may pagkakataon na parang sinusurpass natin yung opinion nila. Parang hindi natin tinatanggap. Pero hindi naman yun ang ibig mong sabihin, hindi ba? So kung may halimbawa, bakit mo yun ginawa ganyan? So sa aking opinion, ganito lang naman. Kung ako ang nasa yung posisyon, yung mga ganong word, and we know yung paggamit ng mga ganong introduction sa sasabihin natin, like for example, yun nga, kailangan siguro ganito ang gawin natin. No? You portray na kasama mo siya, na hindi ka against sa kanya, but at the same time, you're telling that, I think the best word or the best thing that we can do is like this, like that. Hindi natin sila ma-open ng ganung bagay. Sa halip, mapapakita natin na we are concerned, di ba? We are concerned to them and we really do. No, you mean your care to them na ayaw mo silang masaktan pero gusto mo silang tulungan. And syempre, it's a challenge. So, makakatulong yung pakikinig, pag-concentrate, at pagbibigay ng iyong saloobin sa magandang paraan. Okay, basahin naman natin dito sa Ephesians chapter 4 verse 25. So stop telling lies, let tell our neighbors the truth, for we all are all part of same body. So we as a Christian, no, yung pagsasabi ng katotohanan, it's a big deal to God. Kasi alam tayo ng Panginoon, alam niya lahat na nangyayari, alam niya ng puso natin. So God is very aware of telling truths and lies. So ngayon kung ang neighbor natin is we want to help them, pero ayaw natin sila ma-offend, okay, it's better to tell the truth instead of sugarcoating. Sasabi natin, may tinatawag tayong sugarcoating na patatamisin muna natin ng isang bagay. We can be direct actually, but with the respect to them. Na hindi natin sila dina-down, hindi natin sila na tatapakan yung pagkatao nila. That's very good. But we can be direct. Like for example, as I said, sa tingin ko, ito ang tama nating gawin bilang isang Kristiyano or bilang isang babae, siguro mas makakabuti kung ganito ang gawin natin, kung ganito. Natin or like we is a good word because we're not judging the person. Actually, hindi naman tayo galit dun sa kapwa natin. Galit tayo or ayaw natin or pinupoint natin yung gawa na hindi natin na hindi na dapat natin ginagawa. So it's like marahil mas mapapakita natin ang Panginoon kung ganito ang gagawin natin. No, siguro mas magandang i-spend natin yung oras natin sa ganitong bagay kaysa pag-usapan ng mga buhay ng ibang tao. Or like natin always is very helpful advice when you say you want to advise to someone. And always tell the truth. So kung for example, ikaw ay may problema, for example, sa kanyang ginawa, alam mo nasaktan ako sa sinabi mo. Alam mo hindi ko na nagustuhan talaga yung sinabi po sa mga kapitbahay or alam mo hindi talaga maganda yung naging dating sa akin nung gano'n, eh. Siguro mas magandang liwanagin natin ang mga bagay-bagay. So, it's a direct, it's honest, kasi you're opening yourself to them. At the same time, for example, maano naman siya, medyo hindi maganda yung tingin sa kanya at concern ka kasi nada-judge siya ng ibang tao. So, ang gagawin natin, alam mo, kapatid, for example, sino ba nanonood? Hello sa nanonood, say Cheryl, hello. So, pwede nating sabihin natin, alam mo, Cheryl, ayaw kitang mapulaan ng ibang tao. Kaya, siguro dapat ganito ang gawin natin para hindi tayo pag-usapan, mga ganun. So, you join the situation that he or she is not alone. At the same time, you're telling the truth. So, that's very, very helpful tip para mas ma-improve yung ating communication when we give advice. Kasi, importante yan. At the same time, dito sa 1 John chapter 3 verse 8, Dear children, let us not love with word of speech, but with action and in truth. So, it's not just the word. It's not just the word we say, hindi lang yung salita natin, but yung ating tinatawag na pagsasagawa o mahal natin ang isang tao, syempre mahal natin. Pero paano natin i-act yung pagmamahal, yung concern natin sa kapwa natin? First is yung kung paano natin sasabihin yung word. Okay, that's an action of your love. Alam mo, concern ako sa'yo, kapatid, kasi ganito yung pinag-uusapan ng ibang tao tungkol sa'yo. At gusto lang kitang tulungan, and then direct ka na dun sa point na ginagawa nila. Siguro mas makakabuti na ganito ang gawin natin when we have this situation. And action, speak is louder than word. No? Mahal natin yung isang tao pero hindi natin napapakita. And this is the best way for us to express our love to them is to give them advice and be direct for the words. Kasi hindi nila makikita ang isang maling bagay kung hindi na, kasi sa kanila, okay lang yan. Sa tingin nila, wala naman napapansin. But at the same time, kita natin that this should be corrected. So, may nakikita sila na hindi natin nakikita at may nakikita na tayo na hindi nila nakikita. So, it would be good that we open their eyes no, na mapa-explain natin sa kanila ang isang bagay, lalo na kung hindi pa nila nai-experience, lalo na kung hindi pa nila, napapagdaanan tapos napagdaanan na ng iba. It's good to lead them in the right direction, in the right process of how they gonna grow their faith. At, again, pinakaimportante, truth and action. I just want to add from concentration, listening, and at the same time yung voice modulation. So, siyempre concerned tayo. Love natin sila, 'di ba? So, how we gonna act is yung voice modulation. Mahalagang mahalaga 'yon. So, hindi siya galit. Hindi ka galit. Pero tumataas yung boses mo. So, I think it would be great that we have to be aware kasi nga again sa emotion, yung aware tayo sa ating, boses kung ito ba'y dapat malumanay lang, dapat ba ito'y pasigaw, dapat ba ito pababain natin ng konti. Kasi baka isipin nila, "Ay, galit na ata sa'kin yung mentor ko or galit na ata sa'kin ito si ay." Yung boses natin kasi, yung boses natin makakatulong yun para ma-explain natin na concern lang tayo, hindi tayo galit. So, let's just be aware of the speech, voice, yung taas or boses. Hindi naman ibig sabihin, tenor ako, alto ako, or like, soprano ako. Hindi yun yung ibig ko sabihin. Ang ibig ko sabihin is yung volume ng ating boses, 'no? Kung for example, ako, mentor ako, tapos meron akong disciple, siyempre hindi ko sisigawan din. Pero there are lots of things or way na pwede natin gawin how we gonna make our voice a little bit embracing and approaching. And dun ma-appreciate nila lalo dahil matatouch yung puso nila when it comes to advice na hindi nila maintindihan. We have to understand that some people don't listen dahil nga dun sa tone. They think na hindi tayo with them. They think na galit tayo. They think na ayaw natin na ganun. So, parang kinokontrol natin sila. So, it's a good thing to be aware of the words that we use. At the same time, first, concentrate, listen, and at the same time, be aware of our voice modulation. Okay, next is the choose your word. Choosing your word. As I said, let it always be true. Ano? And at the same time, direct. True, direct. At my difference dun is yung modulation. I just want to read the scripture, this yung eto, no. Let your conversation be gracious and attractive so that you will have a right response to everyone. So, in this text, we can understand na ang salita natin bilang isang Kristiyano, chosen. So, kung ano yung sinabi natin bukod sa katotohanan, maiintindihan, which is concern din sa kanila. Not choose the word. Choose if it's helpful or not. This will make a lot of difference at dito natin mapapakita kung mahal ba natin talaga yung kapwa natin. So, if we are concerned sa isang bagay, kung may nagbabother sa atin, it's better to communicate right away dun sa tao na yun. Or, even if your partner, kahit ba yan ay iyong kamag-anak or kaibigan lang, communicate right away, especially kung ito ay pinagsisimulan ng hindi magandang usapan or hindi magandang image sa Panginoon. Mahalaga yun kasi we as Christian, we honor the Lord, we want to glorify Him in our word, in our living. Yung kapatid natin, they are concerned, especially kung may disciple ka, I encourage you to talk and communicate well. At the same time, yung mga disciple, kung meron kang bakit pa kaya hindi na ako kinakausap ng mentor ko or like something, is there something wrong? Communication is very important. Mahalagang malagi tayong mag-practice kung paano mai-improve ang ating komunikasyon para mag-glorify natin ang Panginoon. Not just sa buhay Kristiyano, kahit sa labas, no? Mahalaga yon. And I hope that this video really helped you guys. Hindi ko to makikita nyo to on YouTube. Just subscribe to my channel, Inside Out with I. And at the same time, we have Facebook page. Alam natin na itong page na to and itong YouTube channel na to, we're not making money with you guys. We're just doing this to glorify God and to honor Him. And if you like this kind of video, just subscribe and follow, share, and like this Facebook page. We talk about faith, we talk about self-development and encouragement. Thank you so much for stopping by with me, guys. I hope that God may bless your Sunday. Thank you so much. And thank you for those who watch. Cheryl, thank you so much for watching. I am so happy that you're always there. For me, supportive kong best friend from Philippines. Thank you so much and God bless you all. Bye-bye.